Well, the thing that I believe that holds people back is their inability. I don't want to say unwillingness, but inability to take action. No one wants to lose. No one wants to make a mistake. So they bury themselves in the education aspect of it so they don't do that. The reality of it is, I don't care what it is you do in life, you're going to mess up. When you first started to learn to walk, you fail over and over and over again until you learned how to work those little muscles that would hold you up and help you move forward.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Bursey. Today, we're thrilled to welcome a true authority in real estate investment strategy, Jason Myles of Real Estate 360 Pro. Jason is known for providing a complete 360-degree view of the real estate landscape, helping professionals master every phase of acquisition, management, and long-term portfolio growth. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It is wonderful to have you here. Jason, before we dive into the market dynamics, please give our audience the story of your journey. How did you first get into real estate?
Well, it's a long story, so let me just give you the short version. I
Sure.
left a career in the entertainment business. Uh, I was, in my late 20s, almost 29, actually. I was almost 30. And I did not want to be on the road. I didn't want to be a part of that world anymore. And I was looking for something else to do. And I didn't actually find real estate. It technically found me, but only after I spent all my money. I was broke. All right. I was broke. I was so broke that my wife was contemplating just being done with me. And I was I was on the couch of one of my buddies, and I had an epiphany. I had some real estate before and I made money on it accidentally. And I said, well, what if I purposefully, decide to do this thing? And that's what I did. I didn't have any money. This was 2001. Uh, the internet didn't exist like it exists today. There was no YouTube. There was no Google. I had to go to the library, and I went to the library and I read Carlton Sheets. They had the program at my local library. And that's what I did. I started to knock on doors, hand out flyers. I had 200 bucks. I spent probably 30 of it on printing and bus tickets and all that great stuff. I got my first deal, $100 deposit, made 6 grand, and the rest is history. I mean, there's ups and downs, of course, after that, but that was the proof. That was I made, again, $6,000 on that deal. And I said, all right, great. Here we go. I found something to do. How many times can I do this in a month? And I started to build a business after that.
Awesome. That was the spark you needed. And like you said, you never looked back. That's
No.
awesome, Jason. And you talk about the knowledge hurdle being the biggest barrier for new investors. In today's specific market, Jason, I guess, what is the one piece of common wisdom that you think is actually holding people back?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Well, the thing that I believe that holds people back is their inability. I don't want to say unwillingness, but inability to take action. No one wants to lose. No one wants to make a mistake. So they bury themselves in the education aspect of it so they don't do that. The reality of it is, I don't care what it is you do in life, you're going to mess up. When you first started to learn to walk, you fail over and over and over again until you learned how to work those little muscles that would hold you up and help you move forward. I can use whatever analogy that you'd want to pick, but you have to get out there and take a chance. I'm not saying throw all your money at something and be, you know, wasteful, be, you know, just, just carefree. That's not what I'm saying at all. You have to find good education because there's so much out there that a lot of it works, a lot of it doesn't work. A lot of it is old information that worked at a time when you could trip on a real estate deal when you were walking down the street. It isn't that way anymore. So you have to learn how to find deals, how to evaluate the opportunities in front of you, and then you simply have to take action, whatever that is, whether it's buying it, wholesaling it, whatever you're doing, you have to take action. You have to.
You have to. Absolutely. That's such good perspective. And it sounds like the hurdle isn't lack of information, Jason, but a lack of a
Mhm.
filtered system. Based on where
Absolutely.
the
You,
market is, and go ahead, expand on that, please.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at all of this information that's out there again, and I really want to stand on that point for a moment. There are so many people out there offering these get rich quick schemes. I'm telling you, they don't exist. It's the needle in a haystack. Does it happen? Sure. People ask me all the time about these no money down deals. I mean, we're making literally 5,000, 6,000 telephone calls a day in our cold calling business. I don't even know how many SMS and emails are going out. I mean, the numbers are astronomical on a daily basis. I may find a true no money down deal where someone says, here, just take it. Maybe once every 6 months or so, maybe once or twice a year at best. And so when people are talking to you about this and when you're listening to marketing, understand that those are hooks to bring you into the fold. Once you're in there, you have to really do the work. But that's generally after you've spent the money. My position in this is to tell people, hey, listen, you're always going to have to do the work. It starts with doing the work. All the other stuff gets easier after you've got the experience, but it's consistency that's going to get you to that point. And you always have to refine what it is you're doing and change it for the market that you're in front of. Most people don't do that. They find one lane and then they run with that until it's dead, and then they have to start all over again. It's a lot easier once you're in the game to continue to refine your processes. And that can really only happen with the vision, meaning you have to know that things are going to change and you have to put yourself in front of people that you can talk to, that can help you understand where we're going and what's coming in front of you. You have to pay attention to these things, and most people just don't do that. But you have to.
You have to. And those are great words. You've got to actively get out there and make things happen, just like what you did, your point of origin. That is a perfect case in point. Couldn't
Yeah.
agree with you more, Jason. That was an
Thank you.
excellent point.
Yeah.
Based on where the market is right now, would you suggest to our listeners that they focus on mastering a specific niche, perhaps, like maybe wholesaling or rentals? Or is it better to understand the 360-degree view of the whole machine first?
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
I don't think that understanding the real estate in its entirety is where people should start. That's something that you build towards. The riches are in the niches. I mean, I know that's a cliche, but the riches are in the niches. So depending on where you are in your journey, what your individual goals are, I don't care if it's wholesaling. If you don't have any money and you want to start, wholesaling is the place. If you've got some money and you don't want to be a landlord, wholesaling is the space for you. If you want to build a rental portfolio, then you have to look at what those strategies are. And the reality of that is a very, very difficult space today because you're competing with hedge funds, you're competing with Wall Street. So you need to be in the wholesale space so that you can get the deals that you need, the equity that you need. And that happens with a strategy called the Burr strategy, right?
Uh,
Uh, and the Burr strategy is buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. That's what that is. And then now you have at least 25% equity in these properties. It's easier for you to make money and go from there. But if you don't have anything, even if you have a little something, you need to learn how to wholesale. And if you're learning how to wholesale, you have to learn how to market. You have to learn how to market for those deals. Yes, you can JV with other people that have found the deals, but you need to understand if those are actual deals or not. And then you have to build your buyers list. Is it difficult? I don't think it's that difficult. Does it take time? Absolutely. You can get there faster if you've got a little bit of money and you can buy into various programs that can help you build your list faster. But you have to learn how to market and you have to build a buyers list, period, point blank. So if you're starting out, whether you're, you know, whether you got money or not, wholesaling is the space that you want to look in.
Jason, interested to know, beyond capital, what is the most important non negotiable metric you advise your clients to track for, long term portfolio health?
Education in the market, period. I
Sure.
I kind of beat that horse to death, if you will, because it's constantly changing. There are people out here that sell you these programs and these ideas that all you have to do is go buy this thing and you can be great. And when we're talking about multifamily, for instance, you know, um, the juggernauts out there in the space will tell you, look, we're buying, this A plus property at a 3.5 cap, a 4 cap, which is really good when you're buying a property and you're getting a 4.5, by the way, especially in the market we're in now. But, but the reality of that is, in a nutshell, you're making 4.5% of whatever your down payment is. You have to decide if you can live off of that, right? Your
Uh,
economics will tell you if you can live off of that. So that's just one example. You have to understand where you're going. If you're in the multifamily space, single family space, in whatever capacity, what are we coming? What are we facing? What does tomorrow look like? And you have to make your deals today based on what tomorrow looks like. Now, this is in a down economy. Okay. That can be the opposite in a robust economy. We've all seen
oh,
and heard when the times are great, people spend too much for deals, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Even then, if you're an astute investor, you're going to make your deals at that point based on the values today, not tomorrow. When the market is good, you make your offers based on today's price, not tomorrow. When the market is bad, you make your offers on tomorrow's expectations, not today's, and absolutely not yesterday's.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And you need to learn how to do that. And that's evaluation. And again, it's about talking to people and being in tune to the market. How do you do that? You talk to your local lenders. What are they doing? How are they evaluating deals? You talk to other investors that are where you want to be and ask them how they're evaluating their deals. What does their situation look like? And don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to reach out to them and say, I just need a little help on valuation, period. And they will, because to be honest, we're a helpful bunch of people.
That's a powerful distinction. Let me ask you
Yep.
this. How are you actually finding those opportunities when the rest of the market is looking the other way?
Yeah. And that's a great question because you hear it all the time. You hear people saying, we can't find deals. We're going to go get a job. People are leaving the business because they can't find deals. Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult. I'm not going to sit here and try to sugarcoat this in any way, shape, or form, but it's your processes. Marketing is your thing. You have to learn how to market for these deals. The way we do it today, well, one of the ways we've always done it, in all honesty, but it's really doing well today is cold calling. Cold calling with a mix of SMS and email is absolutely better than any other thing that I've done currently. I mean, and we do it all. We do direct mail. I mean, you name it, we do it. Okay. But cold calling is really the thing. And I mean, I can give you metrics like in our business, every 1,350 some odd calls will equal about 50 conversations will turn into one deal. Our average deal, I'm in the Atlanta market, is about $15,000 a deal today. So if I can, in my business, with the people that I have working for me, and I'm fortunate enough to have some people working for me, is we each person, depending on their shift, if they're working full time, they've got to make at least 1,000 calls a day. If they're working part time, they've got to make at least 400 calls a day. You'd think that it would be different, but it doesn't. But by making those 1,300 touches on a daily basis, I'm locking down I'm contracting about 5 deals a week. Now, all of those don't cross the finish line in 30 days. I want to be clear. Maybe 7 of those, 6 of those will cross the finish line. Now, when the market was great, we're doubling that. And that's just in one market. Now, if you're working in multiple markets, I mean, we've got some of the guys that I go to for information that I fellowship with. These guys they're in 6 or 7 markets. They're making $1 million, $1.2 million a month. They're juggernauts, but we're doing the exact same thing, but I'm doing it in one market and they're doing it in 6 or 7. So you have to understand your numbers, your KPIs, if you will. So if you're talking to 1,300-ish people a week, you can expect to get one contract out of that. One. Okay. And but it's marketing. It's marketing, it's
Sure.
marketing, it's marketing. We're in the real estate business, but we're marketers. So you have to learn how to market. There's PPC, pay per click. There's PPL, pay per lead. I don't really do a lot of the pay per leads because it's a race to the finish line. Because if they're selling it to me, they're selling it to 20 other people, and it's a race to the finish line. I want to be the first one in line, if that makes sense.
Oh,
And
perfect
so
sense.
yeah,
Perfect
and
sense.
that's
And
why
that
PPC and cold calling, SMS
is
brings them directly to me, and my team, and then we put them through our sales process and go from there.
And that was an excellent breakdown of the metrics. Very well
Thank you.
illustrated. It is. It truly is a numbers game
Yep,
with skill thrown in for good measure,
absolutely,
obviously. How do
absolutely.
you help your clients define their ideal deal, I guess? What are the 2 to 3 filtering questions you use to quickly disqualify deals that look good on paper but are fundamentally flawed?
Yeah, that's a super great question, actually. But it all comes down to the motivation of the seller. That's where it starts. Okay. Yes, we can find out all the metrics on a property. This person has, 88% equity in their property. It's worth this, and they've owned it for this long. And the assumption is there's going to be, at very least, these modernization or renovations that need to be done. And on paper, it looks great. But if that person isn't motivated, forget about it. So you have to find the motivation. What do people want first? What are they looking for? If you're talking to them, are they wanting to downsize? Are they wanting to move closer to family or get a retirement home? Are they sick and tired of repairs? Are they getting code violations? You have to determine what the pain is. What is the motivation? Once you found that motivation, then you start to work it from that angle, and that's the seller psychology. It's all psychological. It's all psychological. But even then, once you found that, it's about truly evaluating the value of the property. What is it really worth? So many people today that I talk to, whether they're new or relatively seasoned, are looking at values 3 months ago, 6 months ago. They're not, today you have to look at properties that sold, yes, but how many days on market was it? If the property was listed, which that's what we're looking at, right? And it's pending, how many days was it on market? And what is the pending value? It doesn't matter. It could have been listed at 300,000, but it might be pending at 260. Okay. And it might have been on the market for 122 days to get the 260. So how many times did they say no before they got the 260? So yes, if we look 3 months ago, we see the value of 300,000, but it's selling at 260 today. So you have to understand those numbers. You have to
Sure.
truly look at the numbers inside the numbers. Not 3 months ago, not 6 months ago, although that's important. It's a part of your valuation process, but it's not the end all be all. You have to look at what things are selling for right now. And if it and that does require you to have access to the MLS, but there are services that you can utilize that give you that access so you can see what the pending sales price actually is. And that's how you have to do it. I mean, those are the key points, in my opinion, to find success in the market we're in today. And again, I have to go back to this, understand where we're going economically in this country. We're looking at inflation that's probably going to be at 5, maybe slightly above 5. We're anticipating rate hikes, not rate cuts, which means people have less buying power in an economy where things cost way more than they did a year ago, 2 years ago. So you have to take all these things into consideration when you're buying a property, whether you're buying it to rent or fix and flip, especially if you're going to retail it. You got to know what you're getting into, because if you're buying it today, at best, 4 months from now, it's going to hit the market. What is the market going to look like in 4 months? Price it today for the anticipation of tomorrow in a down economy.
Such concrete words. Jason, if you could walk us through this, beyond capital, what is the single biggest bottleneck you see right now for real estate professionals trying to move from the transaction focused business to a scalable enterprise?
Perfect. It outside of capital, it's knowledge, it's education, it's
Yes, it
a
is.
pathway to what you see next. When you're wholesaling, the next step is to uh, do fix and flips. After that, it's rental property. Now, does that mean it has to be single family? No. It can be multifamily, but you have to understand the space that you want to be in, even there. So, if you want a business that gives you what I call mailbox money, you have to become a landlord. My position in that is I hate being a landlord in the single family space. I'm no good at it. I don't like it. It's way more expensive to do it that way. Multifamily for me is where I'd go. So I don't necessarily steer people in that direction. I just show them and say, hey, listen, if you're going to buy this one asset, why not buy a 5 or 10, unit property with a similar, man, it's going to be more of a down payment, but you're never going to be in a situation where you're either 100% occupied or 100% vacant. You're never going to be in a situation where you've got to buy different size windows and different kind of doors and different kind of locks. You can manipulate your own situation to say, I put this in every property. I put that, this particular cabinet, this particular hardware, whatever it is, and negotiate those prices, carpet, all that stuff. So, and negotiate those prices with whoever you're working with for a discount every time you have a turn, meaning every time you have a new person coming in. And, it costs you 2 to 3% less to manage when you do it that way. Now we're having mailbox money. Now we're scaling. Now we have, as the market begins to shift, you can, uh, there's uh, uh, the process of BBD. We know what that is, right? Buy, borrow, die. All right. So as the market begins to shift on an upward cycle, your 20, 25% equity might now be 40, 50% equity over 3 or 4, 5 years, depending on how the market turns. And then you borrow against it. Now that money is non-taxable and you go buy more assets, more cash flow, more mailbox money. And it's just a process. So for me, it was, let me keep doing fix and flips. Let me keep my wholesale business going and let me take that money and buy multifamily and build my tomorrow. Because at some point, I'm never going to stop working because I love what I do. I love this industry. But maybe there's going to be a time when I can't do it the way I want to do it. Or maybe I will get tired of it. But I've built a business on the backside of this purposefully that I can rely on and my family can rely on. And now I only have to focus on estate planning.
Now, that is a masterful plan. Last question, Jason. What is a major lesson or perspective shift you've embraced recently that has fundamentally changed the way you approach market opportunities?
Be patient. When I first started, I was in a hurry 100% of the time. And you make bad choices when you're in a hurry. I meet people that have big businesses and they're just, they're constantly going and they look like they never sit down and just catch their breath. I don't want to be that way. I understand the mentality of that, but it's easier for me to look at the deals, take my time. If it's too skinny, pass it up. Maybe I can wholesale it, maybe I can't. I don't necessarily look for $15,000 on every single deal. We sell deals that I might make $2,000 on, and adversely, we might make $25,000 on some of those things. But take your time and evaluate these things. Don't rush into any opportunity because you think you'll lose it. Negotiations don't always happen immediately. Sometimes it takes 3 months, 6 months. Take your time. Fill up your pipeline with follow-ups that you can consistently go back to. We go back everyone's a little bit different, but we touch them every day via text or whatever. Follow up, telephone calls every 7 to 10 days. I never let it go until they tell me to F off, if I'm being honest.
If I'm
Just
hearing
take your
you,
time.
just take your time, be patient, do
Yeah,
things fundamentally sound is the nugget, the golden nugget I'm getting out of that. And that's great
yeah.
words. Jason, this was incredibly valuable. I love your energy. And before we
Thank you.
wrap up, for our listeners who want to follow your work, connect with you directly, or learn more about, your real estate offerings, what's the best way they can reach out to you?
You can always go to realestate360pro.com. That's, where we house all our, education and information. That's a great place to go. But at best, social media. I'm so easy to find on social media. It's Jason O. Miles. And I'm not Irish. It's my middle initial. Okay. So, you can find me on, LinkedIn, YouTube. I've got tons of information, real valuable videos that tell you how to get things done. There are not the bait and switch kind of things. Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I don't do the Twitch and all that other stuff. I'm just on the big four, right? And
Sure.
so, Jason O. Miles on any any of the bigger social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. Those are the places I play and interact and engage with people. And we do trainings on a weekly basis about our marketing process.
Jason, this has been a blast. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I really do.
And thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in today. If you found value in today's episode, please make sure you're subscribed. Until next time, keep your standards high and your vision clear. We'll see you in the next episode, everyone.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.